Hello YouTubers, we've made it to Jersey for my first Beach Sprints Regatta, the Jersey Beach Sprints Regatta. We're here today for one evening before we get out there on the sea tomorrow morning. So, a little bit of food, because remember, food is fuel, a little bit of resting up. I'll see you tomorrow for an exciting day on the beach. And we've made it back to the beach this morning to get started with the regatta. The boys are going out for a course, the tide is coming in, and we're all getting set up, ready to race in just over an hour. So enjoying the scenery, which is a lot different to normal flat water rowing. Next to the beach, got a lovely sunrise here. Just a last minute preparation, just getting some fuel, because remember, food is fuel. And then let's get on to the beach. Not sure if you'll quite be able to tell, but the course is getting laid out at the final touches. So it's the start line where you run from onto the beach, where there'll be 3 buoys attached to each other. First buoy, you go round, next buoy, you go round, or slalom round. And then the last buoy at the end for the time trial, the first race of the day, we go 90 degrees round, and then a little bit of a straight. Then another buoy, 90 degrees round, straight back to the beach, get out the boat, and then run down. And then the second section of the day, depending on the times of your first race of the time trial, we end up going, so run down the beach, same idea, buoy, or buoy for Americans, and then 180 degrees round that last buoy or buoy, and then straight back down, run down the beach to the start/finish line. So very different to what I'm used to of just start line, finish line, but it adds major complexity to the whole event, which I think is an actually very underrated part of beach sprints. And for me, this being my first regatta, I've only done everything in practice. So it'd be really exciting to be able to do everything in the heat of battle, in the middle of a race, to see what that does, if that makes a difference. Will it make me sharper? Will I be able to do things quicker? Or will I panic and get flustered and end up doing it slower? We've got 8 guys, and we'll basically all do a time trial, and then we get seeded for quarterfinals, and then see how we go on through the day. But we've got some awesome weather for it, pretty calm, so pretty good for my first regatta. Nothing too dicey out there to deal with. Just going to try and focus mostly on just getting out there and going as fast as I can. But now we're going to register. We're going to warm up for the time trial this morning, and then see how we get on, Yam Squad. And there we go. So really, there's only a few things you can adjust on the boats. You've got the spacers on the gates to raise and lower heights. You've got the foot plate itself, which you can also raise and lower, but also the shoe size, the blades as well, so you can change those. So today, we've got a little bit of a delay. We're waiting on the water coming in, so we've got plenty of time to adjust the boats, but usually we would have less time, especially later in the day when it comes to the side-by-side racing. We won't have that much time, but we should be in the same boat, so not too much fiddling around. Now we wait, we warm up, and we get ready to go. Slightly deeper if you... A bit deeper? Just slightly, yeah. Okay. Okay, here we come. Okay, calm down, right and square, leave the square. Wave, come in! Wave, come in! Wave! Unfortunately, Yam Squad, this is the only angle that I managed to capture throughout all of the racing throughout the day. I didn't quite see the settings on the screen in the sun, so the 360 camera only captured 180 degrees. And unfortunately, it was pointing the other way, not this way. So throughout the video, I'll probably mention different things like, oh, you maybe have seen this or maybe have seen that, but I'm going to just chat about each race as we go through above the actual race itself from this angle. So we get a little bit of views, and you can see that the waves are crashing over the boat and I'm moving somewhat round the buoys. So first race here for the time trial, like I described, we go up, round, over, round and in. I had some difficulties getting round the buoys, but I will talk about that after. And then when we get into the next race, I'll be back to talk a little bit more about what happened during that race. So we're just waiting for the results of the time trial. We're here just chilling out on the beach. The tide has come in quite significantly, as the tide does, so it'll be interesting to see the times. For me, I'm not sure if you might have saw on the previous video, got to the turning buoys and had an issue just turning, which is a learning experience. I think the idea is to get the blade in and actually turn. Hopefully we can do better the next one. It'll be the results from the time trial there. We'll decide the sort of seedings for the quarterfinals. So let's see how we get on. Gregor, how'd you do?
Oh, it was rough, awful. It's calm though, calm and sunny, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it's been nice weather out here so far, and speaking to the guys here, the water was this week's been a lot worse. So nice sort of beginner conditions out there this morning. Let's see what the results are. And there we go, results out. So I'll be against Des right here, and the quarterfinal. So ended up, the time itself was 5th, in fact, like a few seconds back, but definitely lots to improve on and lots to learn. So just go out there side by side now instead of just a time trial with against Des. So instead of going out 90 degrees and back in, we go out 180 degrees and back in. So slightly different approach when you get to that last buoy, but also having someone, it's like you can go a lot, just like any side-by-side racing, you can go at a speed and you think it's okay, and then you look across and you kind of have to go either faster or at that speed of the person next to you. So it's a little bit of motivation and a little bit of a check-in as well to make sure you are at least going at speed for some period of time. So we've got a little bit of break, maybe 10 minutes or so before we get the next, or the first quarterfinal, and then we head out once again onto the beach. Let's get to it. Now on to the first side-by-side race of the day post time trial. So this one, I wanted to improve that turn. So got into the boat okay, and then took a first stroke, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear my exasperation, but I let go of my other oar and tried to get it back and get going. So I looked over at this point and I can see that my competitor is taken off. So from maybe, I've only got 250 meters going this way, so 50 meters in, I want to full send and try and catch him. So fortunately, I was able to catch him roughly by the last buoy, then get a little bit better of the turn. So he caught me a little bit on the turn again, and then send it back. Fortunately, had a couple of issues on his side, and that's a little bit of beach sprints. You can have issues and you don't know what will come up, so you just have to deal with the cards you're dealt and go for it as fast as you can and see where that puts you. And there we go, first side-by-side beach sprints race in a regatta, and I won against Des. Thank you very much for it over there. Really interesting one. Again, it's surprising how much strategy and things are involved in the race. We went out and Des was up ahead of me, then he actually misread where he was in the course, so I had to slow down and go around one of the boys. And then same thing at the top end, much better turn, but still a bit slow. Really need to commit to it up the top end. The guys coming in here, but now I'll be racing the person with the fastest time in the time trial, so it'll be really good to get out there and see how I do compared to him. So let's get to it. Okay, so the second side-by-side race going forward. So got into the boat a bit better. The aim was to get holding the blades, keep holding the blades, get to the last boy, turn well, come back as fast as possible. So I managed to get in and hold the blades, and then I heard the boat handler, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them, they were signaling a big wave, and so I sort of looked over, had a little bit of a brace, stopped, let the wave go by, and then just try and go full send. But unfortunately, I hit most of the wave and my competitor didn't, so he just took off and he took that advantage as well as he could. And I caught a little bit back up with him up to the last boy, and then a little bit back again, coming back down, but just not enough to catch him at the end. So great work from Hal, and just trying to deal with the waves how they come is just something I need to learn to do. Gregor just finishing up his semi-final. Absolutely nailed the in, the out, the turn. Josh finishing up his semi as well. For me, well, I lost my semi-final, so that means I'm into the B-final for 3rd and 4th place. Gregor goes ahead to the A-final for 1st and 2nd place. Turn, definitely better, but just different parts of the whole race. Like, a big wave came and I sort of braced for it, you probably saw that, rather than just commit and go for it and see what happens. Losing a couple of seconds, have to restart the speed of the boat, and the other person's gone. But definitely fast Hal, really quick, especially on the turns, and then coming back as well. Now, get another race, and we watch the rest of the finals.
Go, go, go!
So 3rd side-by-side race of today. Got a couple of things to do. And hold on to those blades, be patient, and if a big wave does come, just try and plow right through it. And then when it gets to that last boy, make a good turn effort, make it as quick as possible, and get back in as quick as possible. So get into the boat quite well, and we take off, and then I hear it again, okay, a big wave's coming from the boat handlers, and I'm just going, okay, I'm just going to keep going. So I do keep going this time, and I'm not sure if it's because the boat handlers wanted me to feel better, but it did say this was probably the biggest wave to happen during one of the races. So it was right in the middle of mine, so I ploughed straight into it. Again, in my head I'm thinking I need to go, I need to keep moving, keep moving. So I did keep moving, and unfortunately almost sort of fell off the seat. Didn't fall off the seat, almost fell off the seat and almost sort of fell in. So I'm trying to rescue the boat back to being stable and flat, and off we go again. And similar story to the previous race, I was able to gain some ground back up, then we get round the turn, a little bit better of a turn, not as good as I wanted to be, still something I really have to improve on, and again, a little bit caught up, coming back down, and then probably the exit was probably the best exit I've had ever, so that was a positive note, but I was way behind, and good job to Josh for beating me on this race. But again, loads still to learn. Oh yeah.
I'm loving the sun. I've not seen the sunshine in like months. No,
and we've got Gregor there, the winner of the men's beach sprint, Jersey Beach Sprint Regatta. Absolutely fantastic. We've got a group photo now, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion after. And that is us finished with the Jersey Beach Sprints Regatta. My first Beach Sprints Regatta, and just like the previous Beach Sprint camp or even just the training sessions, so much to learn, and it's been a great opportunity to do so in this excellent weather. We thought the water was going to be really flat, but I ended up picking up a little bit, but that is as good conditions, and so really good to be able to get out there and row in those conditions. And as you saw, I did get caught out, so I need to learn from that. What could I do differently? What could I do better to go faster, and learn from the guys here that beat me as well? What do they do to make themselves faster? But it's been really good to get out here, and the event itself was great, really efficient. All the helpers, the volunteers from the rowing club and everyone helping out. It's been absolutely fantastic. Only really been done for 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes. And the boys are gone. Guys are rolling everything up, wrapping everything up and tidying everything up and already. So it's been fantastic to get out there. Again, great weather for it, great company. The culture here is just, I think just how the sport itself is evolving, and how like the boat handlers, you could end up helping someone you might be racing against, like holding their boat and whatnot. So it's a really tight-knit community feel, even though you're all competing against each other, which is a big change to what I'm used to, and it makes a big difference to the actual feeling of the event. So didn't obviously come away with a great result, but huge amount of learning, really enjoyed it. And on to the next Beach Sprint Regatta, which I think is actually the British Beach Sprint Trials. Again, just using it as experience and seeing how we get on. So that's for future Yam Squad to look forward to. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. A little bit of variation, because remember, variation is one of the keys to motivation. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button. If you didn't, also let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already, and I will see you in the next episode.